Let's paint this cute Christmas wreath. So I like to use, and I encourage you to use any green you want. I always try to use the same green, so if I want to use them together, or my little cards, they kind of match. And the way you can put your brush down can make a little leaf. So make your line, so place it down, and I like to end it there because it makes a dark kind of edge and it will maybe dry like that. Leaves can be all kinds of different shapes, sizes, and I would just kind of go and make a few. They can also look like a little heart shape, so if I can show you just on a quick over here, a little bigger. So if this is your branch, you can do like this and like this, so it looks like a little heart. So you can, and the way you can press down and come up, and press down and come up, or I just lost some paint, or press down and lift up, and you can kind of make different kinds of shape. Now a bigger brush makes bigger petals, so if I can show you on a bigger one, let me just get a bigger paintbrush. Get paint and make it a little wet. Just get more paint. So by pressing, you can get a different kind of shape of leaf. And you can like do a little wiggle to get a different shape, and then kind of where you end with your paintbrush, where the paint kind of pulls, that will make darker in, you know, at the end. So different brushes can make different little leaves, but I like to go very tiny, just like this to begin with. I didn't do the line in the middle, but I have my pencil line. And I'm just gonna do, oh, that's not the same color. I'm just gonna do a few, kind of filling it in, kind of jumping around again, so you can have, so it can dry. So this is going to be my main one. And I know they are not going the same direction, but I kind of want to have this a little open, and I think it's kind of cute. Or you can make your wreath going all the way. I mean, that's cute too. So I'm just gonna, here by the berries, I am just gonna do something kind of like that to get them. So this is my first layer. Then I'm gonna mix a slightly different green. Maybe add some blue to your green. And I wanna, so now you can definitely say I painted this one last. But now I wanna come and just fluff it up a little bit. So maybe add a few more skinny ones around the original one. And having my brush up, I can control how thick I go down. So where I did the leaves a little bit more pressing down like this, I want to go a little bit more upright with my brush to get the skinny lines. You can also switch to a smaller brush if you want to, but I sometimes just like the same brush. I want to do a few things like pine needle leaves. In a different shade. So I'm adding a little bit more blue. I'm gonna come and do a few little, maybe another big one here. And you can definitely just make this up as you go. I'm fluffing even a bit more. Tap, 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 so you don't even really have to paint. So your first one is really skinny or not a lot happening, and then you can come and add more. I have 2 places of berries. I can even come and make a few more here. And tap, 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 tap with a different green. Then just look like a different plant that you have in there. Let's add the berries so we can see what it looks like. So I clean my brush really well. I get some red. I mix some of my red with some orange, maybe a little bit of yellow. And I'm painting. I skip one, I paint one, I skip one, so they're not wet. If they're wet, they're going to flow into each other and become a bigger berry. We don't want to do that. And because the space is so small, it dries pretty fast. Make sure some of them touches. And do like uneven numbers. I kind of like that. Do you think maybe we should make some here? Yes. Okay, so now they kind of look the same color. Now I want to come back and make sure that I can see a little difference. So I add some brown to my red. And I do a little smiley face at the bottom. And it always dries lighter, so better to come back more. So add more red. And if your brush is too wet, just suck it up a little bit so it's not too wet. And you will see it kind of ends darker towards the bottom. And a second time around, the red is much nicer. It just always dries lighter. Now, if you don't want to keep this open, you can definitely come back and add more green. I'm going to just give, with a dark brown, And you can actually switch to a small brush too if you want to. I'm just going to give a few little stems to the berries, so they don't look like they're just floating. You can even take the brown and just give a little bit more of a shadow to some of them. So if you don't like to keep this open, you can totally fold it in. Just with some greens. If you look at yours and you feel some of it just dried a little too light, you can do a second layer here and there. And more is always better. And layering makes it look more fluffy.